Welcome to the Collingwood Rant. I am Sly.
And I'm Spook.
We are just minutes away from the Collingwood-Brisbane game. As we did against Adelaide, we're going to cover the game pre-game, half-time, and we'll come back to wrap it up.
Unless it's a complete disaster, then it's fuck it, we're not coming back.
Or you might see us during the third quarter. Spook. Changes this week have been Taylor Adams is back in, Ben Crocker, Darcy Moore, Travis Varco. James Aish, tragically out, just as he was stamping his presence on the game. Maynard, another bad loss. Ben Reid and Callum Brown has been rested. What do you think about the side we're bringing in to this game against Brisbane?
Well, first of all, I think...
the blame combination survives?
Aishi and Maynard, I think, they were really been vital to our defensive structure. That's the bit that concerns me. The ins themselves, I think, are all fantastic. I mean, really, we still should comfortably win this game. There's something drastically wrong if we don't comfortably win this game. But I think the ins are good. In terms of how they're going to cover those, that's probably a little bit my grey area.
This feels a little bit to me like a placeholder side. You're still playing Blair and Main. Yep, and you're bringing in guys, I think, to give them a bit of a run before we play Geelong, who's obviously going to be the bigger threat. Still, having said that, the competition is so close, it probably only takes a little bit to be off, and it all goes to shit. But, I like the guys I've got in. How do you feel we're going to go, though?
I think we should win and win comfortably, and that's solely like what we were saying in the previous
You're comfortable that's going to happen?
No, never comfortable. But again, we talk about statement games. This is another one that you really want to stamp your authority on this game. This is a side that's begging to be beaten and beaten well by us with our present form.
Well, Brisbane, if you look at them over the course of the year, they've had some close losses, but they've also had games like the Richmond game where I think he got 2-5 or whatever it was. Good side can dismantle them, but I'll go to shit, and that's what I want to see. I want to see, I said, a statement. I want us to impose ourselves on this match, take control of it from the outset, and then just break them. And it's not because I'm trying to be arrogant or anything, but if you're a side coming up, this is what you need to do.
They're introducing, they're debuting that guy from the recruit. They're not taking this game seriously.
Brisbane?
Yeah.
Well, why should they take the game seriously when no one's taken them seriously for, 15 years?
This is true.
Well, we'll be back at halftime, hopefully with good news.
Go Woods, come on, smash them.
See you. Welcome back to the Collingwood Rant. Halftime, Collingwood 10-3, 63 to Brisbane 10 goals straight.
10 fucking straight.
10 straight. Spook, how have you seen the first half?
Like this. It's been a tale of two Collingwood sides for me. There's moments where it looks like it's gelling. There's moments of fucking ineptitude that is just staggering. I'm not sure whether they're dragging us down to their level or we're just still tired. I hate to use that, but it's hard to gauge. What about you?
I look at it more like a combination of things. I think they're playing out of their skins. Their disposal efficiency wasn't great to start the game, but geez, they pumped the ball forward. They're running really hard. You got to give them credit. They're running really hard. They're creating opportunities. To our credit, when it looks like they might get a bit of ascendancy, we seem to put in a bit more and we get back on top, but we just can't seem to hold out. How much does tiredness of 3 games in 2 weeks really play into it? How much about team balance, about the guys who've lost? You look at the players, you think, okay, Main and Blair, I'm sorry, just going to go to those two. They haven't really done a lot.
That Main snap, fuck.
Yep, that's something you should be burying every fucking game.
I wonder if Fasolo would have missed that one.
Yeah. Well, Pendles and Treloar have been good. Grundy doesn't
look... on one leg.
The concern with Grundy is, geez, he's leaping really early, which is like...
Oh, it's Grundy of old.
Yeah, he's just jumping way too early. Cox is trying, but even like the ones with Cox, whereas the last couple of weeks they sat it out in front of him.
No, it's straight over the fucking top every time.
They don't seem to have a really great dynamic with Moore, where there's times where they're both in the same location. There was I forgot who did it, but there was someone who put it top of the goal square. You think, if Cox just ran forward to that, he probably would have taken it out in front. But Moore was in front of him, not blaming Moore. But it's like, again, that relationship between, can you get those two tall players to work in a way where they're not going to get in each other's way?
It's also the amount of times, so we've always said this with Coxie too, is in a contest, if he can't mark it, he brings the ball to the ground. The amount of times, though, that there's just been a Brisbane player sold behind him and nobody else is staggering. Surely you can read that thing coming in and sit at the drop and go, well, if he doesn't take it, I'm going to maybe have an opportunistic moment.
Yep.
We're not doing that often enough, if at all.
Yep. Pressure is really not there in terms of ongoing. Like, it'll come in little patches. In terms of defence, Murray's having a shocker.
Oh, boy.
Terrible game from Murray. Sorry, Muzz. Scharenberg's been good, I think.
Yep, very good. Yep.
He's been put into a matchup which, he's against someone about 14 inches taller than him. But he's, really he's taken a few good marks. He's actually played on at times, kicked long at times where I thought, okay, he's just really trying to create something. Done again. How the fuck 2 weeks in a row do you give away something in front of goal? Did you not learn last week? Were you not berated last week? It's massively stupid. And seriously, this is on Buckley and the senior leadership team. Just say, fuck, if you do that again, we don't want you in the side. You did it once last week. It cost us. How do you do it twice in 2 weeks? It is just massively stupid and unforgivable.
It's dumb done.
You're not 19 years of age where you can say, immaturity. You're fucking, what are you, like 38 now or something? You've played enough games. You should not still be doing that. You should not be sucked into that. It's just ridiculous.
Right. Though there has been some positives. Pendles is playing out of his skin at the moment. And
Josh Thomas not a grader anymore.
Josh Thomas has been fantastic.
Josh Thomas, very clean hands, creates opportunities out of packs where he just, you look at him and go, geez, there's no way you should be getting out of that pack, and he gets out of it. Those little snaps around the body, creating something out of nothing. Well done, Josh.
Maybe Maine should fucking watch him. Because he'd be on more money than Josh Thomas, you'd think, surely. Because, quality calibre player of Maine who's pulling in $18 billion a year to be shit should be looking at someone that's actually busting a nut and do the same.
Oh, look, I think it's a little bit unfair. I'm sure
I don't think it's unfair.
Maine's busting, and the same with Blaine. I'm sure they're busting in that. It's just, look, maybe the reality is you shouldn't be at this level anymore.
You shouldn't be anywhere near this level anymore.
If you look at like in years past, you get that succession. You go back to 2010, we had guys like Lockyer and O'Brien, Josh Fraser in that side, and then they got succeeded. And it's like, well, okay, this guy has given us this much. Maybe the next guy in line is going to give us that much, but still have the scope for improvement. And I don't wish the worst against any Collingwood player. I fucking want them to succeed.
Oh, absolutely.
So I hope Maine can turn it around. I hope Blair can turn it around. I've actually been the champion of Blair saying in a more cohesive forward structure he could perform better. But, you're not showing it. So the egg is on my face. It's not on your two faces. It's not like you're performing in an environment where the media scrutiny is on you. It's all on me, okay? So really, do it for me. Just for me. What do you see about the next half? What's your forecast?
Jeez, they want to be... they've got to curtail these fucking... Brisbane can't kick straight forever. You've got to have something...
Can I just jump in there? I would fucking seriously be tempted if I was Buckley. I know people say I'm reaching. I'd be tempted to say to someone, rush one. Just rush one. Get that fucking point on the board and just break that accuracy.
Or just break someone.
Yeah, go on, sorry.
Look, they've played out of their skins. They've dragged us down to their level to a certain extent. And the more power to them, it's working at the moment. I really want us to fucking really have a good hard look at ourselves in the rooms at halftime and come out fired up. Because this has been very, very deplorable. And if you continue down this manner, you're going to fucking lose this, and you'll probably lose this by a reasonable little margin at the end because their confidence will just keep going up and up and up, and we'll just go back into our shells.
And I thought in the second quarter there was a period there I was thinking, shit, they're going to get on top of us.
Shit, as in which way of shit?
Just every Collingwood context. But there was when I was kicking goals, and I was thinking, geez, they actually going to probably end this half a few goals ahead. And if we're not careful, it could be like 4 or something. And to our credit, we lifted and... and I thought, okay, we've got the ascendancy back, we've inserted that stranglehold, but then they just came straight back at us. So I can see them sort of gaining the momentum if we're not fucking careful. But this is the game, or this is the type of game where I think, sprays aren't really in vogue anymore with football games. But every now and again, a coach will give the team one. This is the fucking one where Buckley should just be saying, this is shit. Let's fucking just nail these guys in the third quarter, be 6 goals up at 3/4 time, and then you can just play, let's control the tempo. But you really need to fucking lift because it's deplorable at the moment.
No, that's it.
Nothing's really working to any great standard.
No.
Every goal, I think, I should say a lot of the goals they've kicked are thanks to a little bit of individual brilliance from someone who's set something up, or created a goal where you thought there was none. It's none of that fluidity that we've had in the last few weeks.
No, they've really pegged us back to...
And credit to Brisbane.
Yeah, look, the way we've been playing the last month has been beautiful to watch. This isn't beautiful to watch. This is terrible to watch. So the second half really has to get back to what's made us good in the last couple of weeks. I mean, Brisbane won't probably allow that to do us. They throw everything at the moment. And again, hopefully that means that their durability for the rest of the game is going to start diminishing and they'll start getting tired. But we also are at the risk of, we've had 48 games in the last 2 minutes that we're going to start fatiguing a little bit as well. So
I think a little bit of the problem too is that we've spoken about this. Clubs love to live for us. And I'm sure, Brisbane's coach has said, well, their bubble is inflating, let's fucking burst it and just send them down into purgatory. And Brisbane's playing like this is their grand final, probably because they're only experiencing grand finals.
But if you think you're good enough to play finals at the end of the year, which hopefully they think they are, then you've got to take this now and meet it head on and nip it in the fucking bud. Otherwise you're going to be, I didn't want to say bitch, but... that's what you're going to be for a number of sides because they know that you've got a vulnerability there to exploit.
Oh, well, the reality is if you're coming up, you just need to win. And it's always like, don't celebrate that you fucking won. It's then again about the next week. It's like, well, you got to win again and again and again and again. No one ends up on top by playing 9 good games. No. You end up on top by backing it up week in, week out and coming back again and again when people don't expect you to win. And we said we should make a statement. And at that time, the context of the statement was we should just smash them. All right. It's probably not going to happen now.
No, definitely
the
not.
The statement now is you can still play a shit game and still win
ugly.
Out of it.
It's that thing about winning ugly now. Good sides win ugly, apparently, is that standard. So.
Good sides win. That's all it comes down. Ugly, beautiful, whatever. Good sides win.
I'll take the fucking win from here.
Yep.
Otherwise, Coco's getting angry!
And I've tried to help him. I'm wearing my Collingwood bandage.
Yeah.
I wore that a few weeks ago. We won.
How's it go for stemming the bleeding?
It's not doing great, but look, I want to give the players a bit of credit for Anzac Day, but I think my bandage had a lot to do with it, and I've put it back on, all right, and I want to see the second half, I want to have less stress levels.
Yeah,
I'm a very stressed Sly. That's a very stressed Spook.
I want to drink more beer and be happy at the end of it.
I think
a happy Spook is a happy Spook.
I think the beer drinking is going to happen regardless. But,
cheers.
Yep, so we're going to be back after the game. Hopefully we're happy. Welcome back to the Collingwood Rant. It is full time, and
we fucking won.
I think we might have won. We looked like we were going to get run over the top of, and we have emerged triumphant against the evil of the Brisbane,
the Bruisebum Lions,
Brisbane Lions, Lewis Taylor, Dane Zorko, and the Society of Short People. Spook, how do you feel about this win? There might have been a little bit of screaming as we were watching this game. A little bit.
It was the best of times. It was the blurst of times.
It was the very blurst of times.
Hell, what a roller coaster. I don't think that will be up there in the annals of one of the great wins, but
it'll be up there in the annals of the good wins.
In terms of plucking 4 points out of my rectum and putting it into the win basket, I'll take the fucking win every day of the week.
The win or the win?
Well, yeah, a little bit of both, actually, to be honest. I think. Okay.
Fuck. Yeah. I have, geez, I don't know. Probably because getting a little bit of hope this season, and you think, fuck, you got to pull this one off because you got Geelong next week, and, again, you're measuring it up. Geez, you need to win these ones, you got to win. Fuck, I thought they're going to run out of top. 92% of the game, I was like, yeah, we'll get on top of them, But toward the end there, they fucking really look just going to bang. Dane Zorko, fucking brilliant game.
Could you fucking tag him? Just fucking tag him. Bucks.
Why would you tag him?
You'll be watching this on Tuesday during the review.
Why would you tag him?
Why couldn't you tag him? He destroyed us.
Oh, I'm pretty sure Bucks thought the adventure game or something.
And that midget.
Lewis Taylor?
Yep, Lewis Roberts Taylor or Lewis
Taylor Roberts or...
I know. He fucking destroyed us, though, little fella.
Yep. Their little fellas destroyed us. And I think on the other side, who was good for us? I thought Trelaw was really good.
Pendlebury was until that injury. Gulp.
Yep. So Pendlebury probably out for 98 weeks now, so we need to prepare for that. I thought Trelaw was really good.
We covered who was good in the first half. I mean, who was instrumental in the second?
Really, look, I'm going to go the other way a little bit. Fucking Sidebottom kept getting pushed up as a really good player.
He accumulates numbers. Numbers are what's important to commentators.
There's a lot of nothing possessions, a lot of sideways kicks and all that sort of stuff, which, again, goes back to the discussion we had earlier in the year. Where would you play him? Now, he had that good game against Adelaide where he was actually instrumental. He built play and all that sort of stuff. This is a game where I thought, fuck, you go sideways, who cares? You're just nothing but a nothing link, man. It wasn't a great game, but you might have the numbers there. I think it was a really great game. And, I'm sorry, I'm going to put this on Sidebottom anyway. You've been there for, 9 years now?
900 years,
yep. When Pendles went down, you needed the senior guys to stand up.
We talked about that.
You are the guy that needs to stand up. And that goes to all the senior guys. Same with Lyndon Dunn.
Clinton Young, yep. He should have fucking lifted Clinton Young. We carried you in this game.
For 9 years. Lyndon Dunn, who actually did. He was really good at, for that second half, he seemed to get a hold on his temper. Trelaw was really good. Everyone else sort of came in and out of it. Varco, I thought, was really good. He was when he got touches, he was really fucking trying to create something. Scharenberg,
I think, the whole game was the only one that really felt like he was trying.
Yep.
And considering he was playing on a fucking giant too, it's a very admirable performance from the Berg.
Scharenberg goes from strength to strength. I hope he plays the whole season out. What's
he going to be like when he plays 20 games?
Oh, God. You can only imagine 2021 when he gets that. No, hopefully he just has a great year, in terms of his body, physically, endurance and all that, because you see what they must have saw him in terms of talent. He reads the play, he knows when to attack, he knows when to go to punch, he knows when to mark, he knows when to kick long, he knows when to kick sideways. Murray, I thought second half really started to get a little bit involved and all that.
Yeah, certainly you couldn't not improve on that
but
first half.
But the guy you really probably got to fucking mention is Jordan De Goey.
Yep. 5 goals.
Fucking game.
20 possessions, 5 goals. Fuck, he
playing predominantly up forward too.
Beautiful to watch.
What a game, That is one of the best games I've seen from a young guy. And you look at him and you think, geez, if we can get guys like him to come up and Darcy Moore to come up. Another guy I should really mention second half, Stevenson. Jonas Stevenson. Yep. Another great game. What's his 7th game?
Yep. And Bucks, just keep playing him.
Yep.
Game time for him is the most important thing. He's going to be a fucking jet for us. Keep playing him. Yeah, look, maybe the odd obligatory resting every now and then, but just keep playing him.
Like Callum Brown, yeah, that's fine. But these are the guys who came to the fore when you needed to win the game. Crocker, I thought, lifted.
He battled hard.
Yeah, he just kept presenting. And the second half, I thought he started to come into it enough to actually influence the game. Tom Phillips, again, another pretty good game.
He's rapidly becoming a favourite of mine. His endeavour is incredible.
I think the problem with Phillips is one of these guys we talked about a while ago where, you look at someone like, I'm just going to use a few random names. You look at Scott Pendlebury, he gets 20 possessions, 8 in the good, 2 are bad, and people go, Pendles is a gun. You look at someone like Tom Phillips, and he gets 18 good, 2 bad, and people go, that's why he's shit, because he got those 2 bad possessions. And generally, he's gloving it pretty surely. He's trying to create something.
It's an attack and it's a creativity that he provides to the contest that stands out for me. But he looks like a very clever footballer in the making. And what's he played? 8 games?
Oh, yeah. But it's all that perspective of what we expect from people like Ben Sinclair. People expect something, like when he had a good game, it's still like, oh, well, yeah, he had a okay game. Taylor Adams is another one I think gets a little bit unfairly criticised.
Probably not tonight, though.
I thought he didn't have a great game, but I thought in the second half, again, he was the one that lifted a little bit.
Yeah, a couple of instrumental moments. Yeah. I think that's what you could probably say positively.
And then again, in fairness to him, he's missed a few weeks.
That's a reasonable...
But just in terms of perspective, you always got to sort of look at a player and what is he presented. And I think a lot of times you get this bipolar attitude of, we have faith in this guy, we have stock in this guy, he's good, we'll ignore the bad. We don't have stock in this guy, we'll ignore the good, we'll promote the bad. And Tom Phillips, I think he's one of those guys where people are just going, oh, well, when he has a few clangers or whatever, he must be a bad player. Not the last few weeks, the whole year, he's been a really good player.
No, he's been fantastic.
He's been there, he's his big body, and, that last goal was thanks to his cleverness, just soccering it on, getting the fucking ball moving. In terms of defensively, really struggled. You look at this game,
But I think that we talked about it during the game, and for mine, this is where
we shouted about it during the game.
The absence of Maynard and Aish was really telling, and that was my concern going into this game. Well, Langdon to a certain extent too. You have a really solid defensive structure, or we've had one for a number of weeks.
We have that.
And it was severely tested when you took some of the key elements out, and they're not the blokes that'll be there just taking those intercept marks or whatever. They're the ones that are sweeping behind play to then drive the ball forward. And a lot of that drive out of defence is what we lacked today.
Yep.
That when we took possession of it, we were found wanting more often than not in mine. But yeah, they were massive losses, and I think their absence is going to be felt for a few more weeks.
But that's structured up. You look at any football side, and people go, "Well, this is the best player in that side." Well, that's fine, but it's like, who are the more important players?
Yeah.
And it's like guys, again, we talked about this throughout the year. Guys like Murray, he was there obviously today, but Maynard, Langdon, they're providing that drive out of defence. And, they break free the zones, everyone starts getting open, and you can attack cohesively. You don't get that, and people are just, as we've seen last years, chip around, let's try and get the ball forward. Fuck.
It's like you mentioned a little bit earlier about Murray. I think he probably struggled to adjust to the tempo a little bit of that absence. Whereas when you've got that background behind you that's supporting you, that it makes driving it out a little bit easier.
Yep.
That when that was gone, the dynamic had changed, and I think that was very obvious tonight.
And that's it. I mean, again, that goes back to what Malthouse said 28 years ago. You played the same back six; they learned to play together. Today, you took 3 of those guys out of it.
It's a massive loss.
But it's just not, massive loss. It's like, now the guys you're bringing in haven't played together very good.
But that's the thing, yeah.
Flynn Appleby, I thought, did generally pretty well. Yep. He shanked a few kicks, but he wasn't the only one today.
His attack and his endeavour at times is just fantastic. For a second gamer.
Yeah. His composure is really great.
Yep, composed is a very good word.
And a few of the other guys, Moore was quieter, but, you were saying last week, hey, I'd love to see more on this end of this clean disposal. And
I'd still love to see it because it didn't fucking happen this week.
The only thing we touched upon at halftime is you get that more Cox balance to work. Because they seem to be sometimes in each other's space.
Yep.
Coxie, that last quarter, he stood up.
He was an unsung. Yeah. He won't get the praise that he deserves in that last
Robert Walls, yeah. Sorry, did I say that loud? I thought I was just thinking that. Yeah, he took a few fucking telling marks, especially that last bit of play. He took a great mark, which pretty much killed the game. He could have just went back and actually just taken up 38 seconds. He didn't do that. We drove the ball forward, but it was a really good mark. Grundy was sort of in and out. There was a few things he did were like, and there was a few things
he's proppy. He's proppy.
There's something obviously that's happened there with Grundy. Midfielders, like I said, Trelaw was good. Yep. Adams' first game back was okay. He did some decent things.
Blair on the ball, that was interesting.
Blair and Main. Okay, so let's talk about Blaine.
Sorry, yeah.
I actually thought in the second half, Main did some pretty good things. I mean, he kicked the winning point effectively.
Sure, yeah. One good thing for the game.
I think it was...
Well, so...
Yeah. No, actually, I thought he did a few instrumental things. Not enough to sort of say, hey, let's play.
Look, it's a flash in the pan moment for him. Let's face facts. He ain't coming back next week.
Oh, I probably wouldn't. But look, for me, I don't care who they play, as long as they earn their spot and they keep earning their spot. So I don't give a shit who it is. I don't care, if they play, Jordan Russell, if they're getting back and playing back. As long as he earns a spot. Just you got to earn the spot. And that's the one thing, the balance I think that's been lost previously is you're getting guys who are playing and you think, why are you still in the side? And you're getting guys battling in the reserves or the VFL and you think, geez, they should get a game. They should get a good run at it. And that has seemed really skewed. I don't give a shit who you play. I don't hate Blaine.
I don't hate any of them.
Yeah. Well, I hope you all do well.
Some of them test me, but generally I think everyone that you see in a Collingwood jumper, you want to see them do well.
Yeah, and I agree. And it's just like, but when you get your chance, or when you're in the side...
When you see your chance, take it.
Yeah. If you're there...
Find romance, break it.
it's like as long as you're earning your spot, and that goes for everyone. And I don't want to say there's like a range where I'll give a bit more, you know, give a bit more chance to like guys like the Goldie and all that. Just whoever it is, just fucking once you're in there, if you earn your spot, great. If you don't, back to the VFL, and that creates healthy competition for spots. It also puts a firecracker up players to say, geez, I got to keep my spot, which I don't think's been there. And I think if you guys have had a little bit of a ride, I should make a special mention. The umpiring was especially shit.
Jesus,
you know,
Christ.
I don't think I've ever seen as many throws paid in the last 15 years as I've seen today. Maybe a few of them are there, but geez, it's like, oh, you're going to choose this game to pay him. A few little holding the jumpers and all that sort of shit.
It's also your classic case of inconsistency. In my simple mind, and it's a simple mind.
Don't you forget about me.
At the start of the game, when you start paying a particular type of free, that should set precedent. That is what I'm going to be paying today. But the fact is that they ignore what they set as a precedent every other free is the frustrating thing as a supporter. Where you go, well, your expectation is when an infringement happens, because you've paid it earlier, it should be the way that it consistently is paid. But they just fucking haphazard everything now.
And that again goes to, like, we said it when it happened, was when, I can't remember who dropped, but when Lyndon Dunn dropped onto the Brisbane guys at the start, they paid a free, fine. But then someone dropped in. Yeah. It's like, well,
it's the same deal as last week.
You reverse it. I think I hear the bell chimes.
Esmeralda, the bells.
Any final thoughts about the game?
Look, I'll take the 4 points and fucking run. Not a great game by any stretch of the imagination, but a win is a win. We talked about at half time that, well, I don't think we're a good side yet, but you know, winning ugly is not a bad thing at this stage. It's all about accumulating the 4 points. We achieved that today. Reload and let's focus on fucking Geelong.
Yep, all I wanted was the win. We got it. Build. But in the absence of some players who've gone missing, and hopefully Pendlebury is not going to miss a lot, you know, it's a big worry. But in terms of like Maynard and these guys who are out of defence, we've got to shore up that defence because we conceded 18 goals today and that was shit.
Yeah, and Geelong's not going to be that kind on us in defence, so, but we might talk about that a little bit
later, yes. All right. Stay right here for Media Mephitic. We might have a special guest. Welcome back to the Collingwood Rant. It is time for Media Mephitic. What the fuck?
Hey guys.
Where'd you come from?
Just, I've always been here.
He was loitering outside with intent.
You've always been here.
I've always been
here.
Behind
the screen.
You probably said the most intelligent things in the first segment. We are back for Media Mephitic.
And we're joined with our special guest, the Chief.
Hello.
The
solely for pizza.
Yes.
True.
Media Mephitic. Jake Niall. Is that how you pronounce it? Jake Niall?
Jake Lloyd.
Niall.
From Niall. Jake the Niall.
From the Aggie.
The Aggie.
The Aggie. He wrote a great article about Collingwood's sustainable game plan. Talking about, and basically break it down how in the previous seasons it's always been like an effort-based game plan. You get the tackles up, you fucking get the turnovers and all that sort of stuff. And he just looked at the way you were probably using the ball a little bit less, relying on tackles a little bit less, but we're getting better results. And the one thing he mentioned was the Anzac Day game, where I think, sorry, I've forgotten the figure a little bit, but I think it was like, we only got 48 tackles for the game.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep. Whereas in previous years, under Nathan Buckley, it's always been about get the tackles. Get the tackles. Playing West Coast 2 years ago, like I said, they all merge into one, all the, you know, the vulnerable efforts. I think we had about 110 tackles. It was like, oh fuck, what a game, but you're not going to do that. What do you think about the Collingwood now compared to the Collingwood there, and that delineation where journalists are actually saying, geez, we're seeing them doing a little bit something different? And we actually talked about this in round one when Wayne Carey said, oh, we can see what he's trying to do now after 19 years as coach.
There's a mind.
They're trying to win more.
There's a mind working.
Trying to kick straight handball.
The funny thing is, as you were doing that little bit of a preamble there, is I was actually thinking about how effective our tackle count was today. I don't think it would have been exceptionally high. I don't know the numbers yet, but maybe I'll flash them up when I do the post edit. But I don't think they would have been high. It was a scrappy game.
No.
But I think the thing is,
Wasn't like
maybe,
tackling.
you know, this belief that a high tackling game equals success has been dispensed with. And
High pressure game, I think it is. It's
Well,
putting
today-
the pressure on the.
Well, I mean,
on the
in
ball
terms
carrier.
of the currently running the AFL, and I don't want to point fingers at anyone other than the AFL.
point someone.
Yeah. There's no point tackling because you do not fucking pay holding the ball, dropping the ball, throwing the ball the way it should be on it.
Well, it's a lottery, really.
Yeah,
Whether they get
you know,
paid
you're
or not.
paid 1 out of 5 or so. What's the point of tackling 90 times per game and getting of those 90, let's say 45%, 45 of them or 50% of them, perfect tackles, and where they throw it or they drop it or don't dispose of it legally, and you get paid one of those. What's the fucking point? And I saw this for years. This is my big bugbear in football, not just with Collingwood. My big bugbear is just like fucking pay the drop on the ball, pay the throw, pay the illegal disposal, because that's what the game's about. If you're going to tackle, you should be rewarded if it's a good tackle.
This is one of the things that all these media commentators and special guests and talking heads, when they always talk about changing the rules of the game and keeping people in the forward line and all the rest of it because there's too much people around the ball and scrimmages. If they did what you said and they paid the tackle, you wouldn't have as many scrimmages, you wouldn't have as many people around the ball because basically it's a tackle, free kick, off it goes. There's a rule, and if you actually talk to the rule and pay a free kick against the rule as it's written, you won't have these problems. You won't have to change more rules to change another rule to change another rule.
Yeah, well, let me get... Okay, so that actually segues into what I was going to say. Earlier this week, Nathan Barkley said, let's get rid of prior opportunity. So if you just dispose of it illegally, you're done.
I'm a massive fan of that.
Yeah.
And Chris Scott said, no, you can't do that! As Chris Scott does.
Did he have priority before he...
No,
No, you need to keep priority.
No, but he was saying you can't do that because you'd be paying 500 free kicks.
No, but if you're running, and get tackled, you had prior opportunity, if you got a good tackle, the ball didn't get out. So what's happened? Is that a free kick?
Look, for me, it's very...
Because that's prior opportunity.
No, for me it's very simple. If you do not get rid of the ball legally, I don't care if you did...
That's what it comes down
If
to.
you don't have prior opportunity, or you did have prior opportunity...
It's illegal disposal.
It's illegal disposal. And I know that's a little bit unfair on the guy trying to make the play, but...
So what's holding the ball?
If you don't get rid of the ball by hand or foot, legally.
So if you get tackled...
Look,
But it almost becomes irrelevant because they're prejudging on the prior opportunity in the rule, not the outcome.
Yeah.
So if you're tackled and the ball spills free, they go, well, you're not looking at what the outcome is. You've
No, I'm
abandoned
saying
that. But you're actually looking at the reasons
I'm saying
why
the
you're in
ball
that
doesn't
position in the
go-
first place.
No, but you
I
can
think the simple thing is you get pinged no matter what, and the ball spills free. You've illegally disposed of the football, you should get pinged.
You can,
Yeah,
still,
that's
you can
right.
still apply prior opportunity if someone takes someone on, they get through them, and then they get tackled, and then they go, don't get rid of the ball. Then it's fine. It's hold the ball because you had a chance.
Yeah,
you took the ball.
that's what I'm saying. There's still you need the prior opportunity because people will just start taking people on all the time.
No, but that's
And so
fine.
they had
But that's fine. If you took them on and then you try to get past someone and then you get rid of it, fine, ping them. But the thing is, there's a lot of times now when they're trying to get past, they get tackled straight and they just don't dispose of it legally, and it's like, well, they didn't get prior opportunity, and that for me is still, you should still get pinged.
Yeah, you dropped it, you didn't handball it, something happened to it, you didn't dispose of it correctly.
Yeah.
So it's usually it's dropping the ball because basically it goes out of your hand and you didn't touch it.
And I mean, you can still apply prior opportunity legally. Not legally. You can still apply it in a certain context. But this thing where you didn't have prior opportunity, so you dropped it, but that's fine. It's like get rid of that.
No. It's.
And as you just said, and we're talking about sages. You pay a free kick, scrum's clear.
Yeah,
People will just run. And I think eventually what will happen is you always get these schisms, and you touched upon it earlier. You create a rule, and then something happens, so you create a rule to try and counter that rule, and you go on and on. You know what happens if you fucking start paying free kicks? Players will have to adapt, and you know what they'll have to do? Instead of just throwing or dropping it, they'll have to actually learn to try and get rid of it legally. This is not a masturbation icon. Legally, AFL. Anyway, that's my thoughts. I mean, I think football's built on certain principles: kicking, handballing, marking, and tackling. Kicking, handballing, marking have been fucking on it. Tackling just being disrespected so grossly, it's unfair to people applying the tackle.
They want fast, free-flowing games, and they'll
fast games.
Yeah.
But the issue, they don't get it because they get all their scrums.
But
then they've got to make up some other crap rule so that they're
and I don't think they actually realise that, like, you know, when you don't pay the freeze, when you, as you say, they just let the umpires just let it go. That's actually creating more scrums because someone drops it, then everyone has to run in and try and get it. Then someone tackles, someone else drops it, and like everyone runs in. That's why you get the rolling scrums.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, whereas you just paid a free, bang, everyone clear. And if you paid a free, I think actually players will start to learn. I should just hang back because that, you know, I got a teammate there. He's tackling. He might get a free. I'll just stay back a little bit. I might get the ball out.
What was the other things? Yeah, that's Nolly Baby taken care of. What else we got? Come on, come on!
It's been a pretty quiet week in terms of Collingwood. I mean, Collingwood's being loved in the media. So I'm actually going to go a little bit aside to Tom Hawkins at, what's Shannon's ground name?
GBMH up my Clacker Stadium or something.
Yep, so Hillbilly Stadium. Sorry, Geelong supporters.
Hicksville.
You know it is. Tom Hawkins was reported for physical interaction with the umpire. I don't know what the correct term is.
Whatever it is.
Yep.
Touching his cock.
If we took the fact that we're going to play Geelong next week out of it, do you feel Tom Hawkins should be suspended or just fine?
Can I go first?
Yeah.
No, I don't. I don't think any footballer should be rubbed out for making contact with the umpires. Simply because
what
I
sort
think...
of contact though?
If they punched him in the fucking head, fair enough. Incidental contact or light-on contact though... look, the thing is, the thing that really shit me in that little interaction too is the minute that Hawkins put his hand out and touched the umpire, he's gone, "Oh, don't fucking touch me, don't fucking touch me!" And that's the bit that grains on me as a supporter, is just how fucking untouchable, without being a pun, the umpires have become. It's become stupidity. I don't mind. Look, I'm not a massive soccer fan, but there's a lot of interaction with the referees and the umpires. They touch you. Oh, sorry, mate, I did this or whatever. I don't mind that because it brings a level of are you worried? But connectivity with the administrating fraternity. In terms of this, that was nothing, and you shouldn't miss games for that.
Are you worried that it might reach pro wrestling levels where people lose titles because of it?
Rob Muir style.
Unless, like, the player actually had something in his sock that he pulled out at the time and then hit the umpire. Again, I don't see it. Look, I know by the rules of the game, you shouldn't do it, and you should be pinged for whatever the rules dictate this week it should be. But in the scheme of things, fuck no. Chief, I don't think you should miss out.
I agree with you that the AFL's too hard on being able to touch the umpires. You should be able to do that. And, as long as you're not physically threatening them and all the rest of it, you should be able to do that. However, that's not what the AFL do, and according to what it is, he should get 2 weeks for that because that was a deliberate act against the umpire, and I've seen people say no.
He's argued though in the heat of the moment, which
it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
He thought it was one of the opponents put his arms out.
Oh yeah, of course,
Which you'd expect him
because he's in lime green and the opponent's in whatever other colour.
Who did he think his opponent was? The T1000 Terminator just morphed their arm. I agree. I mean, I remember I mentioned this and you go, it's probably not relevant now because 9 years later. He's sure I remember we give him the free against me and he got 2 weeks for that. He was doing that. I remember Travis Cloak last did that last year to an umpire. He just sort of put his arm around and didn't get anything. And that's fine. I think you should be able to have interaction with the umpires. Going back even longer, was it the Port Adelaide Ruckman, Dean Brogan? I remember got a 50 against him because he scowled at an umpire and young guys, you can't look at me like that.
Abusive language. I mean, all these...
No, he didn't abuse language just like that.
No, but there's also, there's been plenty of those that have been given abusive language. And the thing is, this is nothing other than a sole message to the junior fraternity.
Yeah,
this is how... And look, I don't mind that, but that sort of thing should be taught at the junior levels. You shouldn't be looking to the AFL as an example there. I mean, the problem is these days a lot of these mics, a lot of these umpires are mic'd up that you actually hear that verbal interaction, and that's where it can get a little bit hazy. And I think the AFL is actually trying to protect that thing where the wrong message comes across, and they want every little kid out there, and we love the little kids. I've got Auskid kids. But they want them to wonderfully love the umpiring fraternity, which they should. I mean, that's the thing where you should protect that acknowledgement. But touching them or doing this or, it's not a big deal. Smacking them is an issue. Kicking them in the collards is an issue.
How do you feel about
Dacking them is an issue. The wedgie is an issue. But these little incidental moments shouldn't be a problem. And the umpire shouldn't be so completely untouchable to actually not allow that.
The umpire didn't report him, wasn't there? It was Christian.
He squealed like a stuck pig.
No, they didn't squeal. The review system.
How do you feel about Tom Hawkins' defence that what he said was he felt the umpire was teaching karate, he was just going to paint the fence.
He also said, he went,
smack the hand.
But when the umpire went, he said, I went back and to the left. Back and to the left. Well, it'll be interesting to see how it pans out in the next, because it'll be tomorrow night. We'll know the outcome.
I think you should get 1 week.
Look, probably from a selfish Collingwood perspective,
you should get 1
if
week.
you get fucking rubs out, wonderful.
1 week.
I'm not really that scared of Tom Hawkins the other day.
He's out
of form totally.
For the last 6 years.
Dunn will probably give away a free in the opening minute and then contain him for the rest of the game, so it's not that much of an issue.
Just to go back to Lyndon Dutch, surely he's not very far from just grabbing the cord that holds the banner up and just choking it around the forward and just going like pro wrestling. We're going back to pro wrestling.
Come on, McMahon.
Anyway, I mean, that's it for Media Mephitic. A very short Media Mephitic this week.
Because just nothing fucking much happened in the media.
Everyone loves Collingwood.
However, there was probably 1 or 2 incidences in the game tonight that Robbo will fucking burst the vessel over. So we'll wait for those.
Could I do one about the game? Just
yeah, go for it.
Why not? You just blow in. You blow into the 11 now. Why don't you just take over?
It's
the chief show tonight.
It might fit into this thing. When the guy took the mark before he kicked his last goal, and you had Lynch in the commentary box saying, "Oh, the opposition player, whoever it was, oh yeah, when he got up to the mark, he should have put his knee in his ribs and kicked him in the ribs, and just to make him earn it so that he could put him off the mark." And I'm like, really? This is the commentary that you're actually getting out of here? Yeah, you're saying that the opposition player should have kneed him in the ribs.
It's pretty much
to do this.
It's pretty much like Cove in Karate Kid. Sweep the leg.
But that's
sweep the leg.
I heard it.
Which was advocating having a gibbet outside the ground and he just hang the corpse up there to dry and the crows could pick the flesh out.
Not the crows though. The lions. The lions.
Or whatever the fuck.
Why would the crows have to come that fast?
I just heard it. I thought, shit. This is how you say that, but not right there as a commentary.
So nobody holds the commentary accountable then.
Well, look, this is the guy that got 72 weeks on his last game because he just basically tried to belt Wakeland to tomorrow,
I recall a number of years ago, they had Nick Riewoldt on one of those terrible football shows. I think it's the one that
Mike Sheen's on?
No, Lachlan, what's his name? Gillian McLaughlin, what's his name? What's his brother's name?
Trevor.
Yeah, Trevor McLaughlin.
The one on Sunday morning.
Yeah, that one. And then Riewoldt.
Dylan, is it?
Terrible, I think his name is. But and Riewoldt just talking about like players you feared coming up behind you when you're taking a mark, and he goes, Nick Maxwell goes, you always knew how to put the knee in legally. He goes, you can always get it stuck in there. I understand what else Lynch is saying, but yeah, I mean, it's just, geez, you're promoting that, You think the Auskick mum's just sitting there going, yeah, little Dylan, he's not doing that. Hey, you get your knee into Tommy Harper, you stick it in hard!
Stick the pick it in Pete and twist it round real neat. Alright, well that probably should wrap us up for Mephitic.
For the next 2 weeks.
Let's get into the next week's preview.
Alright, so we are playing...
No, let's have a pause so I can edit this fucking part out.
Pause. Anyway, so we're playing Geelong next week. Geelong has had a very up and down sort of year. You fucking look at it and go, oh, geez, how good. And then back down. We've won 14 games in a row apparently. But how do you feel about the game next week? Pendlebury could be out for... I heard it was a bruise to his foot until he got to the Collingwood medical department. Now he's out for 19 weeks.
17 years.
Yeah.
Pendlebury's grandson will be playing next week. He's a massive out. He was fucking huge today, to be honest. That's a hard one to cover. I mean, I know you were completely devoid of confidence in him at the start of the season, and
he wasn't a grader and all that sort of stuff.
Slowing down on everything. But geez, he's instrumental to our success at the moment. I think his presence today was massively felt when he was not on the ground. If he doesn't get up next week, My concern is who do we bring in to
the ins this week though will be better for the run. You know, you're more. Your Taylor Adams, these guys will be better for the run. Because
Varks was pretty good.
I don't think I got an opportunity to say it during the game review, but I'm massive Moore apologist at the best times. Today wasn't a great game for him in terms of the delivery was fucking woeful. If he was on the receiving end of what had happened the previous month when he was hamstrung, no pun intended, pun intended, it would have been a whole different ball game. But today we didn't get to see him. Because Brisbane choked the living fuck out of that game. They threw a lot of numbers back behind the ball. They congested the living shit out of every contest. He didn't get any clean delivery today. Not at the Coxie. Coxie, I actually probably think made the better of the situation. But more, I just look coming off 3 weeks of a hamstring, coming back into this. When he left, they were shit. Coming back, they're good. We didn't get to see the best of him today. But he could actually have a dynamite game. He just tries a lot.
Oh no, I totally agree. I mean. Well, I spoke about it a little bit earlier. Cox and Moore need to work out how they're going to survive in that 50-metre arc. I mean, fucking Cox lies down and he takes up 25 metres of it anyway. So they've got to work out how they're going to...
Well, if you've got Reed in there, how are you going to do it?
He's not going to do it for Fred. No way.
He's out for forever.
Reed will be out until 2004.
What was it? I didn't know.
Achilles strain or something. Yeah. And not as bad as they initially thought, which is Collingwood code for 17 years.
Yeah. But I don't think they'll play the forever in there. But I'm just sort of saying, they've got to work out how they're going to survive together. I agree with Spook. I mean, Moore's a really special talent, and they just need to work out how they're going to maximise his potential.
Did you see, just to sort of interject for a second, we've seen Reed and Cox play that forward line for the last couple of weeks, and they really did play well off each other. And I think that's that element that.
I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to be a creep, but bloody, Moore covers so much more ground than Reed.
I was about to say that. The same thing too is actually I think at this stage in their careers, Moore is a hell of a lot of a better prospect than Reed is.
Yeah.
So if Reed is functioning he just needs to learn more what it is that Reedy was doing to stay out of the way of each other.
Well, I think
you can pick that up, I reckon, in a game or two.
Yeah, but I reckon with Moore, they should make him on baller, good style, a very tall, mobile baller, because he's quick, he's great below his knees, he's got a top mark, he can run.
That's also Grundy as well.
Yeah, Grundy's more traditional ruckman, but with Moore, I reckon they should make him basically from the half forward line all the way up and back, so but
that's the thing. I think that
he's bringing it in.
But I think that's what they said. Go, you're here, and Cox will take that space. Don't go into that space.
Yeah.
You're going into that space. You need to work out. Going back 28 years ago when we played, Victoria South Australia when they played Ablett and Dunstall, also Lockett and Dunstall on the same forward line, it was like go in your own directions.
You can go your own way.
Yeah, I can't see. That's copyright. Right. So I mean,
when you shit on it,
I actually really liked that. Geelong smashed GWS because I think they might
self-inflates their importance at the moment.
Yeah. I don't think Geelong's. Honestly, I'm not trying to be a prick, but I don't think Geelong's a great team.
Absolute fucking prick.
I am quite possibly the biggest freak in.
Well, now you're
I am now in AFL media. I'm quite positive. I don't think Geelong's been a great team the last few years. No. They've got Selwood is an absolute gun. I think if I was going to build a team, I'd probably pick Selwood as my first player. Because he's the midfielder, you build that midfield on, he'll get the ball out, he's a great fucking captain, he wills them over the line a lot of times. It will be him or Patrick Cripps, who's like a lot younger version of him. Dangerfield's obviously a gun of a player, but then it's like, okay.
So what's the other forward line? A back line is the result.
They've got some really good young players like Rodriguez and Kelly, Tim Kelly.
They've got a lot of hard to pronounce players.
Yeah. But I never look at them and just sort of go, geez, there's
a lot of plotters in that.
There's a lot of average players.
But they're really held together with those.
With the midfield. There's basically a few of the old stalwarts,
Absolutely, of course, Abbott comes back next week for him, but I just don't think he's anywhere near the.
He's not going to patch on himself. He has not been the same player since he did his shoulder McCaffrey tackle in. He's played very few games
from stuff like that.
From McCaffrey tackles, no. But it's also that sort of thing we talk about. We talk about in relation to Daniel Wells. You get older, your body starts letting you down. You have the will.
Not
in any of these.
No,
days.
no. I can
We're
still,
still primed and ready for action.
I can still
keep going.
I can still drink. But Outlet's gonna. When Outlet went back to Geelong, I was thinking, geez, you know, the romance, the free Tolo, great. He's probably going to play about 9 games because that's just where his body is, and not disrespect to Outlet. That's just what happens with midfielders, you know. And footballers, you generally get older, your body starts letting you down. Something you might have thrown off 10 years earlier, just now you're fucking out for 2
The bell
years.
tolls.
Yep. So what are your final thoughts? Win, loss, draw? Because today looked like it was going to be a draw. Tonight looked like it was going to be a draw for a little brief period until Mason Cox stepped into the picture. But
it's probably, I mean, we've had 3 games within 11 or 12 days or whatever it is.
11 days,
We've now got essentially a 7-day break.
Full week.
Penrith's a big out. Look, if we are allowed to play our A game, we weren't today, we could probably defeat Geelong. Either way, I think it'll be a close one. I'm not brilliantly confident, I'm not overly confident either in the same breath. I think it'll be a close contest. Could go either way at this stage for me. I really want to see what selections are at the end of the day. I think Langers has to come back in. Outs, do you see anyone that needs to...
Pendle's going to be the one.
Pendle's obviously
The young guy.
Yeah, I mean, the other guys that might come back are guys
If you have
like...
that Langdon in, he's the one who's going to have to probably make weight.
It'll probably be Appleby if Langdon comes back.
That's it,
Yeah, Appleby...
He was good. Like,
he disgraced himself today.
I thought he was pretty good. In the context of the game, I don't think he did anything worse than anyone else. Like, everyone sort of made mistakes at certain times. I remember Appleby took a really good mark and we said, yeah, it's really cool. And he turned and kicked across the face of the goal and kicked that down. But I think everyone was having those sort of games where it's like, you know, you look good. Oh, shit.
It's the bluest at times. I think the thing is what Langdon brings to the game is
he's playing foul.
He reads the play reasonably well. His instant marking is fantastic. You don't put a line through him. You get him in for that. Who you rob that...
He's read out for a length of time, or
no? I think he was close to call up this week, but
so if Pendles goes out, you put in Reid and Langdon in. I don't know how Faz,
Reid won't come back in.
Elliott and all these guys are
fuck off, Main and I'm sorry, Main and Blaine, but
for Solo's a really interesting one because he's been in reserves the whole year and they're not picking him.
Yeah, that's right. But he's playing pretty well though.
And he's doing okay in the reserves, but they're just not picking him. So there's obviously some level where they're saying
something
you're not doing this. There's something he's not offering him, which they're sort of saying, well, you got to leave this part.
Unless they're erring on the side of caution to not rush him back in.
Well, yeah, that'd be a great, massive. I mean, Daniel Rawls he's playing the reserves for about 2 weeks.
They had an easy win the VFL this week too, so I don't think Wells. What did he play? I'm not sure. No. I'm not entirely sure.
Braden Sire, Rupert Wills are constantly being in those selections.
Maybe it's time for them to...
One of those, if Pendle's out, I think one of those guys will get a game.
Sierra would be probably not a bad... Not a bad... It's a long shot, but it's not a bad...
Yeah.
Logical replacement in terms of where he plays.
But again, it's that whole reshuffling. If Pendles goes out, maybe you just play Adams more in the middle, and then you bring Adams
or the goey in the middle.
Is it inside mid? That'd be awesome for Adams.
So I mean, it's always going to depend on who would bring him back. I think the really important thing is to again get some regularity throughout the team in terms of who's playing where. Because I think the last couple of weeks that's really hurt us is you've lost a few defensive players. And it's just really hurt that defensive six. For the first time in about 98 years under Nathan Buckley, for the first 5 weeks they had the same back six. And they were really developing a synchronicity.
Well, we leaked like a sieve today.
Yeah, but today was terrible. And it's maybe just because these guys haven't played together enough.
Well, it could also be where Brisbane dragged us down to though as well.
Oh, but they still scored 100+ points.
But that's also rare for Brisbane too, to score that. And their absolute inability to fucking miss.
Driver was saying last week, like he's right up in the Dragons down their shit level, and like I was really worried about that. But when you're both kicking 100 points each, you're not actually being dragged down to a shit level. You're probably playing a very free defensive.
Shit level. That's a little bit overcritical. Brisbane are on the cusp of being better. They're not a bad side.
For the last 9 years,
they're getting better each week. So I think you've got to measure that against our performance and their performance as being. Excuse me. I'm fucking Walter White tonight. It's not as disparate as I think it probably should be measured against.
Yeah, look, they had a great game. So, I mean, it doesn't matter how shit the team is placed on the ladder. If they have a great game, then you've got to treat them on that day as how they're playing. Brisbane played really well today. So they didn't play like an 18th place team, because Vim and Carlton, the only two teams that haven't won a game. They really played like a very competitive 8th place team.
They did. They put a lot of pressure on them. They ran hard. They defended.
So you got to look at it from the point of view, okay, that's what they perform. Like, everyone's sort of going, oh, we should have beaten that team because that's where they are positionally, but they played like a team that was up here. And maybe if we applied more pressure, we would have pushed them down, but they still, they were still up there. And there was a number of times throughout the game where, I thought, hey, skill-wise, or in terms of scores, we're just getting on top of them. I thought they'd fall apart, and they didn't.
No,
but now we're going back into the Brisbane thing. We're talking about Geelong. So, Geelong, tips.
I think we can win this at the G. It won't be much more than a 1 or 2 goal win.
I think we can win. I think it'll be all about the forward line. If the forward line works for us, and it has been over the last month, we'll be able to get it enough. I think their defence is very inexperienced, which therefore becomes relatively weak if you put them under too much pressure. And GWS, as we've said before, are downhill skiers and don't do any pressure very well. So I think we can. I think we can kick us enough of a score to defeat them, whether it's a Dow game or not.
The other thing is before you jump in, is that Geelong's yardstick is always measured against their performances at Cardinia Park. It's almost like whatever the fuck it's called. But it's like they're gifted wins there, but at the moment I think they're actually in deficit. They've lost more games there of recent times that they've actually won. So they're clearly demonstrating they're a vulnerable team. So we should hopefully, depending on how we back up from tonight, come in over the top and actually smack them into next week.
I don't rate Geelong as a good team. I haven't for about 3 years.
Oh, not a great team.
Since you go back to the Bartel years and Abel and all that sort of stuff, you contain Selwood and Dangerfield, and that's it. It stops. Yeah,
we don't do that. Zorko had, 400 possessions and 4 goals or something.
This is the worry, is like Selwood, fucking champion player. And if you look at Geelong's finals campaigns when Selwood and Dangerfield have been there, Selwood's been brilliant. Dangerfield's been the quieter one, and they haven't gotten through. Selwood's the one to stop. Yeah. He's the guy.
He's the engine.
And unfortunately, the guy who usually stops him, Levi Collingwood, is out for 98 days.
He had a good game this week, so he'll be straight back in.
But that's the concern. But I look at them, even in our average years, which is like the last 19 years,
he played a VFL game this week.
There's a fair few players in the
there's guys
VFL that could step up.
Yeah, the thing is, in our bad years, average years, we've done well against Geelong. So we have the capacity to play well. I think we should beat them. I think we should beat them by 4 goals. I know the worry is, with Collingwood. But again, it goes back to what Spook and I have been saying for fucking the whole year. If you're going to be a good team, you need to start winning games. You can't do this whole thing of and I feel like some Collingwood supporters doing it. It's beat Essendon, average team. Lost to Richmond, good team. Beat Brisbane, average team. Lost to Geelong, a better team.
I feel like we're being slung
it's that whole thing of the enterprise. It's that whole thing of we'll balance it out because we'll play a shit team, we'll win that game. You just got to start beating them.
We didn't used to beat the shit teams, though.
No, we didn't.
So that didn't quite work.
No, but it's still this balance of let's have the wins that we're going to get, we feel we should get, and these ones are the iffy ones. So if we lose, maybe we'll get away with it a little bit. You just got to start beating these teams. You need to be the best team. The biggest concern is Pendlebury. Pendlebury's out. That changes the whole dynamic of the defence. The midfield. I don't know how they're going to work out. I think Treloar's been really, really good the whole year. He should be in front in the Copeland, I believe. Not Sidebottom. I feel Treloar's been impactful in games, whereas Sidebottom's had I think 2 good games in the whole year.
And accumulated a lot of meaningless stats.
And I think people have credited Sidebottom with how good at looked at that. I think it was that good.
I think the difference is Sidebottom had the first 3-4 rounds was really good, and Treloar was a bit quieter, and then last it's kind of turned now.
So that's also classic Sidebottom.
Yeah, but we talked about this earlier. I think Sidebottom can have a game where it's a really average game, but he'll kick a good goal. People go, fuck, how good is he? it's like, well, besides that goal, no, it was pretty average the rest of the game. Whereas if someone like Crocker or Fasolo would have had that sort of game, people would just go, it's okay, you kick the goal. But anyway, we sort of talked about that. They need to work at the midfield, they need to work at defence because they've lost players to both of those zones. And how does the dynamic and interactivity of those players in those two blocks of positions work? Because today, I think they probably suffered a little bit from the fact that they've lost guys from certain positions and they just totally unraveled. And we can't have that. You obviously need a B plan and C plan and all that sort of stuff. And ironically, in the last 19 years under Buckley, he's constantly lost players from the forward line to the point that, you look at the forward line, he's got none of the preferred options in there. This year, he's got all preferred options fucking trying to get a position in there, but he's losing players from the midfield and defence. Bucks probably see a witch doctor about that curse, but so anyway, I think we should win. I think we should win by 26 points.
Cool.
Right, so we are up to question of the week. Last week's question was, can Collingwood maintain the rage?
I'm not meant to answer that.
We're playing it.
Alright, what rage are we talking about? Obviously, I'm just
winning.
Can we keep winning? Yes, we can keep winning, but I'm still to be convinced that the way that they play is consistent enough to be able to win and beat the better teams in the comp. We can do it, but I don't think we can do it consistently, and I think we'll be up and down, but as long as we make the 8 and then you do it for 4 weeks over the finals team, who cares? Because if you can keep that rage for that 4 weeks, hello Western Bulldogs, hello Richmond, so you got to keep it for that 4 weeks.
The first aim is to make the 8 and then where you go.
Anything can happen at this stage.
Spooky, do you think we maintain the rage? I mean, today...
I don't think we did today.
We maintained our rage.
Yeah. I'm a massive belief that mindset determines where you're going in this game, that if you're mentally switched on, that you will achieve amazing things. There were moments today where that just didn't look like that was going to be the case, that they could have gone either way. Maybe that was the end result, was based on the fact that we had some fortitude there, but it wasn't massively on display. But this is something that we can collectively build, I think, on the ensuing weeks. There's a lot of winnable games coming up. You can build a lot of enormous self-belief there, and enormous self-belief drives that rage for me. The rage isn't so much about anger, the rage is about the freneticness to actually just keep winning games of football. And I think potentially we're on the cusp of that capacity.
Yeah, well, I think today kind of proved something that we
win ugly.
We won ugly.
Winning ugly was a great start, to be honest.
Where we weren't on song. And we would have probably lost in the previous few years, which is great.
Yeah, I think we talked about it before, but there's that adage about, good sides win ugly. We're not a good side yet, but winning ugly...
You just got to keep winning.
That's it.
You've got to win.
Yep. Wins are wins are wins are wins.
And actually goes back to, I think, at 2:10 when I was speaking to my cousin Doska, who previously wrote for Collingwood. And he was just saying it's a hard draw this year, and he's going, can we win this one, can we win that one? You know what? If you're going to win the flag, you just got to win.
Yep.
Whatever's in front, you got to win.
And however you feel and whatever you happen, you just got to win, and that's what I think happened this week against Brisbane.
And like I'm really, sort of partly disappointed, frustrated by how we just scrambled over the line, but I'm also glad we scrambled over the line because it showed we won. In previous years, I seriously, for about 3.5 quarters, I thought we've got this game, and then about 30 seconds past that 3.5 quarters, I thought, fuck, you're going to run over the top of us.
And there's plenty of times we all thought they were going to roll over.
And I really thought that, and I really, De Goey got that goal, and I thought, we're comfortable, and they got bloody one straight back. And I just thought, fuck, we're going to lose this one, it's going to be a draw. And I was having flashbacks of, 2010 when we had shit losses, and we found a way to win.
Mm-hmm. Well, GWS last year, that was they found a way to win, and this time.
And that's what you got to find a way. Question for next week: Jordan De Goey, where should he play? Don't answer it now.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Yes.
Yep, almost fell into that trap. Very passionate about this fella, so I'm looking forward to the answer next week.
Does your wife know you're very passionate about this fella?
She's accepting.
Okay. Well, he's a Collingwood player, so you should, she should be, forgiving. Anyway, thanks for joining us this week. We'll be back next week with hopefully another great episode of the Collingwood Rant. Hopefully another great
fucking win.
Great win. Go Wise!
So nice.
See you next week.
Maybe.
Well, he won't.
I might not be.
He won't.